By the time we made it all the way up to Golgotha, the other two men were already hanging there, suffering. The guards finished securing the second man's cross, and then they turned to take Jesus. And there he was, staring down upon the cross which now lay on the ground before him. His silence continued as they nailed his hands and his feet to that cross, and then lifted him together to his final place of suffering. What was different about it, I don't really know. But for the first time since my childhood, I felt the horror of crucifixion deep in my gut. An awful thing. After a while, the crowd began to thin. As they went back to the city, I moved closer and closer and closer until finally I could see him. His eyes were open. He looked at no one. And then I couldn't believe my ears. For he spoke. And this is what he said. He said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." I couldn't believe my ears. Who is this man? Father, forgive them. Are you kidding me? I had watched for an hour as they ridiculed him and abused him along the way, and then he breaks his silence with words of forgiveness. Who was this man? What kind of man endures this kind of torture and then offers forgiveness for his oppressors? I tell you, he was no ordinary man. But he wasn't the Son of God either. I had begun to wonder. I began to hope that perhaps he was the long-awaited Messiah. But within the hour, my questions were answered. For he was dead. He had played the part well. But he was not the one. He was not who he claimed to be. I'd never seen a man of such love, of such faith, of such strength, to the very end. The others, they mocked him. They said, "Come down from the cross that we may see and believe and worship you." He saved others, but he cannot save himself, they said. How could they be so blind? Couldn't they see how different he was? It was obvious they didn't know what to think of him. I didn't know what to think of him, but with every moment that I stood there looking up upon him, I wanted more and more for this Jesus to come down. To come down so that I could see with my eyes what I was beginning to believe in my heart. If you were the Messiah, he would have come down, right? If he really were the one, he would have come down, right? If only he would have come down. I was so confused. But my hopes were merely illusions. in that moment. For somehow, strangely, of all places, Golgotha, things within me began to feel right. And I felt a presence that I'd never felt before in my life. If ever the great God of Israel were there with me, it was in that very moment, right there. Why could not he come down? Why could not this Jesus of Nazareth have come down from that cross? Why could not he have been our long-awaited Messiah? Why must it be just when I really believed it all fell through? Why must he die at the cursed hands of the Romans? Why was there so much anger? What have he done to deserve all of this? What has he done? Why? Why? Do you hear the voices? Something is up in town. My friends, what do you say? What's the word? The tomb is empty. He's gone. Jesus is risen. Oh, Lord, if only it were true. If only it could be true. More shouting. More news. Jesus is risen. Or could it be true? Could it be? Yes, Lord, yes! He's come down from the cross. No, even better than that. He's come back from the dead. He's come back. Oh, dear God, I knew there was something special about that man. I knew that you were there with me. The Messiah has come. My friends, did you hear? Did you hear the